On today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Mattel Man of Steel basic figures. We're looking today at Shadow Assault General Zod. General Zod features a 2-in-1 blade. 2-in-1 blade. Up at the top, something I've already indicated, a really cool picture of Superman. He is angry. Angry. And awesome. And awesome. General Zod here is featured in his armor. Something that Spot has already indicated with the movie Masters version of Zod. That Zod really should have been armored up. Really should have been. That figure could have been a lot better. Maybe could have taken away from how large his head was as well. Flipping around the back of the package, it looks as if the two pieces merged together to form some sort of uber weapon. Other things you can get are flight speeders, which appears to be some sort of fighter, some sort of Kryptonian pods that shoot figures. And I use the term figures very loosely, as it looks like it shoots. Here, let me zoom in. You guys can see what I'm talking about. It looks like it shoots basically just a dart that is slightly resembling an elongated Superman, holding perhaps either a large piece of gum or planet Earth. I mean, the ships themselves look pretty cool, but I don't know. I might pick those up. I might not. We'll see. This comes to us from the good folks at Mattel. What I am going to do is take a bit of a break. Going to get this opened up, and when we come back, a better look at Shadow Assault General Zod. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Shadow Assault General Zod does come with two weapons. Looks like individually you can have him holding them. Just take the blade here, getting his cape out of the way, peg it into one hand, and taking the other weapon, which looks more like a blaster, perhaps a Kryptonian blaster, pegging that into his other hand, like so. And you have General Zod holding both weapons. Now, they are incredibly large. The one here is quite a bit heavier, too. So, between the two, I can understand why they would say figure is not going to stand properly once in hand. Also, too, the actual handle of the gun, perhaps, let's see if I can get it going in the other hand here. It seems as if his hand... Okay, it holds better in this hand. Let's put his blade in this hand then. Like, you know what? Blade out, Spot. Blade out. Okay, you know what it is. It's just this hand. This hand is a little harder to get stuff into. But there you go. You have General Zod with both weapons. Interesting enough, he has an open area here, an open hole. This one arm does not have anything. I don't suspect there's a way to actually peg. There's no peg or anything on there. I wonder what that extra piece is for. Having a look at his gun. No, there's definitely no peg. Oh! No, I thought there was. No, it definitely doesn't seem like there's a peg or anything that would explain why he's got that hole on his arm. He just happens to have that hole on his arm. Maybe if you have other figures, maybe there's an accessory that you can peg that into place. Something there. I don't know. The accessory also you take both accessories, and you're going to have blade side down. You have the handle such as this, and you'll see that there's a groove here and along the back as well. You're going to take the blade and just slide it into place. Doesn't look like it fits very securely, but at least it does the job. It looks like something from Gears of War. Now, if he had a tough time holding and standing, obviously he's going to have a huge hassle holding this and standing upright. Maybe if you can bend the legs back. No, it's not good. Spot, what are you even thinking, imagining that he could possibly stand holding this large weapon? Pretty neat weapon. I guess in some ways you could pretend like he's firing the blade out as well. That's the beauty of imagination. If you have it, you can certainly relish in a world no one else understands. That also kind of looks like an alien head. I don't know why I'm using that analogy, that comparison, but moving that out of the way. As for General Zod, I think unlike the Superman basic figure, while I don't even proclaim that this is any bit of a fantastic figure, on a comparison level, now this is an odd comparison, but I'm going to put him here. I guess it's not too much of an odd comparison. I'm going to bring in the Movie Masters General Zod. Once again, something I was indicating before, with Movie Masters version of General Zod, they really should have given him this armor with the really cool shredded cape. As a first appearance figure, without the movie having been released yet, why would they give him this armor? Kids would immediately pick this up and think, wow, I really want the cool guy that's wearing all that black armor. Not, hey, I want the cool guy that's wearing just a skin-tight bodysuit with his emblem on the front. That's the only comparison I'm going to use. I'm just going to move him out of the way. Once again, I think Spot mentioned that a little too much. Face-wise, it's not bad, I guess, based on what we've seen so far. But I think the armor is definitely phenomenal. Even on a basic figure, if this was scaled up, maybe perhaps we're going to get this in a Series 2 of Movie Masters. But scaled up, this would have been a much better looking costume for him to have, easily. He is still basic in articulation. His head rotates left and right and up and down via ball joint. His shoulders go in and out, and front and back. Bend at the elbow, no rotation in the hands, no rotation in the waist. Legs go forward, go back, and no bend in the knee. So he's got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of articulation, is that right? And let's not also forget the cape. That's a neat looking cape. Again, once again, if that was only on a larger scale version of Zod, would have been a lot cooler, but what do I know? As a comparison, there is basic series Superman that came with the tearing apart motorbike. They're about same size. Obviously, Zod is a lot larger due to the armor that he's wearing. Pretty good comparison. Once again, indicating something I mentioned also in a previous review. These figures were about $8 to $10, depending on where you find them. I think Toys R Us had these for $8.99. Whether they're worth $8.99 when you factor in that Dark Knight figures as well as Batman Beyond, or Batman Begins basic figures were a lot taller. You know, they had a little more of a sculpt going to them. It seems like ever since the Dark Knight Rises came out, they've really scaled back figures and have counted these as new basic lines. I don't necessarily think they're worth it, and I really feel as if Mattel should have just put out much taller deluxe figures, because I feel like ultimately these figures are not going to sell. They're going to sit. A kid might pick up 1 or 2 of them. Like I myself picked up the basic Superman because it had no armor on it, and I picked up Zod here just because I like the armor on him. But I guess if, a kid playing outside, a kid playing in the dirt, kids still do that, I know. Playing in the dirt, if you want just a basic version of the figure, something small that he could put in his pocket before he comes in for dinner, then I guess, these basic figures really aren't bad. I wouldn't necessarily recommend them, unless you are just looking for, a very, I don't want to say inexpensive because they're not cheap. These really should be about a $5 price point. But if you want a basic figure that you really don't have to worry too much about damaging, and just to give your kid with and say, you know what, go have fun, go play with General Zod. All right, General Zod! And then you can go off and frolic with General Zod. Then, you know what, sure, these figures are pretty good. They're not hindered by any silly gimmicks. He doesn't have moving arms or light-up features or anything like that. He just comes with a really, really cool gun that splits up into a blade and a little blaster. Zod, the Superman wasn't as impressive to me. Zod, because I just really dig this armor and wish it had been on the Movie Masters version, I'm going to give this Zod a 6. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Mattel Man of Steel basic figures. We're looking today at, I think his name was Shadow Assault General Zod. Shadow Assault General Zod. Thanks for watching, though. Certainly stick around. More Toy Spots are heading your way. See you guys next time.